Yeah. The new genetic findings are really very interesting. We're now having to look at the whole gene for all of psychiatry. There isn't one gene for each disorder. Rather, there's a profile of certain genes that are shared across various disorders and various brain traits. And what's been found recently in eating disorders is that there is an overlap with other psychiatric disorders. The biggest overlap is with obsessive compulsive traits. So the profile of risk is shared about 50% for that. There's a shared profile with educational achievement. So people with an eating disorder tend to do better educationally. But other psychiatric disorders, there's a degree of similarity with schizophrenia, neuroticism, that's anxiety, depression also. But what's been surprising to people, but we perhaps shouldn't be so surprised, is the link with bodily risk. So what we're finding now is that for people with anorexia nervosa, there does tend to be an inverse, a negative association with body mass index, with growth factors, and also a negative risk with insulin. There's more insulin sensitivity in anorexia nervosa. But interestingly, for bulimia nervosa and binge eating disorder, we are getting some of the shared psychiatric things, but what we're finding is probably the opposite pattern in terms of the body, in that for binge eating disorder, there's a positive association with higher body mass index and a positive association with a tendency to be resistant to insulin. So we're finding sort of some similarities and some differences across the spectrum of eating disorders, but showing that there are these metabolic anomalies. So it's possible that people with anorexia, when they start to lose weight by whatever reason, just don't get the signals that the rest of us can get after starvation of a few hours, that those signals just don't work as efficiently as for somebody else. Whereas we might say for binge eating disorders, they work too efficiently, particularly in our environment where food is not scarce.
Good.